I see war and rumors will see more. Conquer and divide. They tell you to pick a side. Will I choose eternal life? And I tell you why. In this generation, iniquity has abound. But in the New Jerusalem, there's no evilness allowed. I see pain. I know we want to see change. I know we do. But they conquer and divide. They force you to choose a side. But on that day, where will you hide? And you have to explain to him why. In this generation, iniquity has abound. But in the New Jerusalem, there's no evilness allowed.
I think it's very important.
Jerusalem, no, no, ain't that. Jerusalem, no, no, ain't that. Jerusalem, no, no, ain't
The Presbyterian Church in Greater Columbus.
but in the New Jerusalem, Jerusalem,
Reagan, I am strongly in favor of exceptions for rape, incest, and life of the mother.
Jerusalem, no, no, ain't that. Jerusalem, but in the New Jerusalem, Jerusalem, no, no, ain't that. There's no evilness allowed. Jerusalem, no, no, ain't that.
We are back and we are live. It is PTPOD number 35. How y'all feeling? Drop your pew pew pews in the chat. I am your host, Fresh Mike, and we love you. How are you feeling? Good. How's your weekend been? You been getting caught up in this beef? Man, I gotta tell you, it's crazy. It is crazy. You got Drake beefing with K-Dot, and then there's like 1,000 other rappers involved. And then you know how white folk do. We are mad if we can't get in on a beef. You know what I'm saying? It's not about us. So you got Tim Pool, famous podcaster, beefing with 5-time world champ Jake Shields, and then they're beefing with this crazy like dude named Nick Fuentes, who's some kind of crazy racist, I guess, or not. I don't know. But what I do know is that we're here to chill out. We're here to have some fun. We're here to tell some jokes. We're here to have some laughs. And I got the best man possible to do that with. Ladies and gentlemen, I am excited to bring my guest to the stage. This man has been all over the country. This man has done things that you and I can only dream about. He's going to tell you some stories that are going to blow the wig off your lid. Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend, the history maker. Give it up for Rudy the Vet. Pew, 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 pew.
What's good, Mike? How you living?
How are you feeling, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm lifted, man. I'm having a good old time. Hey, protocol, if you're watching, is the same stuff from the Grifties, man. I'm feeling real good about things.
Oh, it's on the level.
It's
Hell
on
yeah.
the level, dude. Yeah, what's good with you, Mike, man?
What's up, man? We can shout out Iron Bull Taurus in the chat. Amy Hall in the chat. She says, hello, Mr. Rudy.
Well, how you
She
doing?
knows you.
Okay.
She knows you. I mean, she's a fan, like as all of us are. So, man, this is your first time doing a live with me where we're not debating. So
no, we're not arguing no more. I love you like a brother.
Well,
You're
and
all
now if we argue, it'll be fun, like
you're
brothers
all,
do, like
yeah,
you and
now,
Spike do.
hey, now you can call up talking about I'm gonna get my head up a chicken's ass and I won't get mad, dude.
My bad. Oh my God, fighter, professional, bad mofo, all around awesome dude, amazing father, inspiring champion, Kelvin Rayford in the chat. Pew, 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 pew. That
Going on?
man is such a beast. No one will fight him. He's having a hard time. He signs contracts and he's literally like bare knuckle boxing, the big promo. They can't even find a fighter that wants to mess with him. He's that good. So somebody's gonna step up to the plate, get their head served to him, and then he's going to get that belt. He's amazing. Oklahoma champion by far. It's time to get him national champion. By the way, Iron Bull says we are a month away from the Seed Port Championship Wrestling Present Juneteenth Festival. Iron Bull, I'm going to be calling you tomorrow. We gotta iron out those details, man. We got people wanting to come. It's going to be huge. So yeah. Now, chat. Let's talk about the man right there, the myth, the legend, Rudy. A little background, little history. Me and Rudy got to know each other through less than cordial means. We got into basically a fight. We had a little bit of a not even so much an argument when we broke it down, because Rudy is the kind of guy, he's tough. I'm not going to lie. He can be gruff. On the outset, you can be like, whoa, that guy's like a tough dude. But then when you get to know him, he has great solutions, great intelligence, great thoughts on what's going on. And not only that, man, but one fun thing I got to let everybody know that they may not know about you from just looking at you, brother. You are a hip hop head. You
Oh yeah.
love the hip hop. You love your hip hop, man.
I,
You know what
man,
I mean? So,
man, I just that's why the whole Kendrick and like Kendrick, man, when you listen to hip hop, man, when you dive into old school hip hop, like some Nas Illmatic, Wu Tang Entered the 36 Chamber, you can go even back further to Public Enemy, Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back, the Beastie Boys. Like I've been listening to hip hop. I grew up in Norfolk, Virginia, man. I've been listening to hip hop my whole life, man. And like I'm telling you, somewhere right after 50, man, like, and I'm not knocking him, man. I'm not knocking him. He's got talent. He's not my cup of tea. He's got talent. But right around, 50 and M, that was it, man. Like after that, man, it ain't been good to me, man. Like there's some new stuff out. Like I like when Cam raps, man. Cam puts out
yeah.
dope tracks. There's Coast Contra, man. Like, and in this day and age, like, dude, when you got dudes like Tom McDonald putting Ben Shapiro on a song and making millions of dollars off of that, and with the industry shit with Jake and Drake and like, dude, you don't need these people anymore, man. You can go independent and really do what you want to do, man. I'm not a tech head. I don't know shit, but I watch the YouTube, the Rumble, and the Twitters, and I see hip hop come through it. I see, that's how I found Coast Contra, digging a deep dive on some, what I'm saying, underground hip hop, and flipped through, and boom, there was their link, man. Started listening to them, and it just got to catch fire, man. We got to, as the hip hop community, like that. There's a chick on there tonight, man. There's a chick. Goldstein had a Spaces with HJ, and there was a chick up there tonight, man. I mean, they were on, man. Like everybody knows the end. Like now it's time that you got to get into the head of the mainstream to just let it go, man. Because there's no way Drake should have ever been part of hip hop, man. There's no way a Canadian child actor. I don't care about anything else but the fact that he's a Canadian child actor, and somehow he hijacked the music of the streets of America, man. The grimy, the come up. You know what I'm saying? From conscious rap to hustle rap. I mean, you listen back to like In Vogue, listen to some old Mary J. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Some SWV. Listen to
Right.
that compared to what they're listening to now. To say, like, I mean, I'm not knocking the hustle, man, but I mean, Sexy Red is trash, man. It's trash music. Like, she's making money. She's making a name, and I'm never going to knock anybody's hustle. You know what I'm saying? But the music's trash, bro. It's trash, man. It went
Yeah.
from the hustle, the grind, to make it up, out, make it big, to, by any means necessary, whether it's selling drugs, selling CDs out the back. And I mean, Master P did it. Master P did it with No Limit, and then I mean, he's kept relevant independence, man. But like we don't gotta break away from Universal, Columbia, the same shit everybody complains about. We go and buy their music and watch their shit, man. When there's so much better underground shit with real message to it that you could find. And that's where I am on the state of hip hop. Now, when my playlists, it goes from 86 to 92, man. I'm not, that's for my working out. And then I got from 92 to 2002, anything coming out of Queens, New York was the shit. Mobb Deep was the shit. Nas was the shit.
Mobb Deep
Cormega.
was so good. I forgot about Mobb Deep. So good.
He's part of my waiting, man. When you listen to that album, The Hegelian Dialectic, man, he gets so deep on that album. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. But man, I'm a Queens, man. I'm a New York hip hop head. Like I fought with Pac, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't really fuck with Big, dude. Like he had good music, but he won't my shot. But I fought with the Wu-Tang Clan, Nas, and that grimy New York shit. That's my favorite shit to listen to.
I'm with it. I'm with it all, and I love it. I love the fact you mentioned Third Base in the Twitter spaces today. I will say for me, right, because I want, I like to be a fun, positive party guy. I throw parties, roll with DJs, a bit of MC for a long time. Get the party going. If aliens came down, if someone had never heard of hip hop, right, and they were like, "What is rap music? What is this style or brand of music?" I would play Rob Bass. I Want to Rock Right Now. That to me represents the fun. I'm not internationally known, but I'm known to rock the microphone. And it's just fun. And It Takes Two. It's got a crazy hook. Ooh, ha, donna. Yeah, sorry.
Back in the day, Mike, when that would come on, everybody would get lit. But if an alien from outer space came down, right, and he wanted the perfect example of pure hip hop, I'd play some Tribe Called Quest.
Tribe, yeah. Award Tour. That was such a good record. Yeah, man.
You throw it. This is the problem, man. This is the problem. People didn't play enough Tribe Called Quest in the bars. People played too much Wu-Tang in the bars, and fights started. But you can play Tribe Called Quest at a party, bob your head to it. Some songs you can straight up dance to it. So if an alien came down, now that's not my personal choice. My personal choice would be either Illmatic or 36 Chambers. But if you play a Tribe Called Quest album at a party, ain't nobody getting into a fight. That's all I'm
most
saying.
of the time. Well, knuckleheads are knuckleheads. Also, man, okay, so I wanted to weigh in on the Drake thing. Here's the thing about the space, because you know me, I love to talk. I'll call in. I'll drop my opinion and piss everybody off if I so choose. But the Twitter, everything was so well represented. Haram in the building, Reef.
What's
what up?
What's going on, brother? How you living? Up there?
Reef, I'm gonna fuck around and send you the link, dog. Is it okay if Reef wants to come in? Rudy, it's your show tonight.
Fuck yeah, that Haram Life's cool as shit. Him and Syke Tyson said the sneaker game was on fire. The whole ride. My brother was like, man, Haram got good shoe taste just like me, man.
Yeah, he does. And what's funny, I gotta tell you something funny. Me and Pro were talking about is and you don't have to, by the way, Reef, you don't have to at all. But if you want to jump in, reminisce on the Grifties or just say what's up, check your Twitter DMs right now, brother. I'm working right now. No worries, dog. If you get a chance before the show's over, it's in your DM. But what I was going to say is what's funny is both of y'all were like, okay, so you and Reef in our little world are kind of like stars. Okay. Maybe not stars. I don't know if that's the right word. For lack of a better word, you have status. Okay, you're in the crew. You're in the high level posse. You know what I mean? It's the HJ crew. You're mentioned. It's like, okay, so if HJ is RZA, you know what I mean? You're definitely like one of the posse. You're definitely like, you know what I mean? Oh, I don't know. Which one would you be?
I'll be
Yeah,
old.
ODB, you
I'll be
actually
old
yes.
dirty.
You would be
I'll
ODB
be old
because you're the
dirty.
wild one, and you gives two fucks. You know what I'm saying?
ODB, ODB was that dude, man. ODB
First
was.
one to party, first one to shoot. That's you. You know
So,
what I mean? First one to make a friend, first one to kill somebody.
hey, look, I'm a Woo head, so I got Hulu. I bought Hulu for a month and binge watched the Wu Tang series. You know
How
the
good
little
was that? Yeah.
man, that shit right there was a mind fuck, man. Every time them songs popped on, I knew exactly what I was doing, exactly where I was. Like, man, those were the years, man. Those were the
I could
years.
I could just smell Reggie Bricks in my trunk whenever those songs came on.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
But back to Drake real fast
go
because
for it.
I didn't get. Well, first of all, I just felt like every opinion was represented well. I was like, I have nothing to add. I would just be calling out. I could be Raekwon. Yes, Haram would be the chef.
You
So
can be
I'd be.
Raekwon.
He
What's
would
up,
be
chef?
Raekwon. You know what I'm saying?
What's
I
up,
want to be
Lex
Method
Diamond?
Man.
He said he's gonna be
I'll
Lex
be.
Diamonds. I love it.
I want. Yeah. I'll be Meth. You know that'll be my jam. But anyway, uh, so but what I was gonna say is the one thing that no one brought up. The only thing I could have added, but I feel like it was that important was okay. So I don't know, maybe about 6 months back, they were all talking about how an AI of Drake came out, no one could tell the difference. An AI made a Drake song that sounded just like Drake. So, with that in mind, here's my theory. Drake has always been AI. Drake is not a rapper. He's a actor. He was a child actor and now he's an adult actor acting like a rapper. He's playing the role of a rapper. AI creates his shit. He doesn't write it. AI creates this shit. He doesn't even have. Why would you hire ghostwriters when you can keep all that money and have AI write your shit? Because this shit ain't good. No one's gonna sit here and be like, "Oh, Drake is the best ever." So his stuff ain't good. It's not for the streets. No one in the streets listens to it. It's never been him. It's always been AI writing it. Then he goes out and performs it and makes the money. Dude, he sells out stadiums. One thing people don't talk about Drake sells out. He holds records. He holds like 4 records in 4 states for like the biggest paydays there.
Right,
Because
right.
I mean, but that's the plan. That's it. That's how you know it's going to plan. So anyway, in my opinion, Drake is as AI as it comes. And then the other thing I think about it on a 5,000 foot level, on a the people behind the people level, is just like this new Tim Pool beef going on. Drake and Kendrick, people involved in this in any way, shape, or form are passionate people. What they see on the internet is they're influenced by on some level versus TV or newspaper, right? And we're passionate people. We're passionate enough to stick up for K Dot, stick up for Drake if that's your guy. You're passionate enough to go online and do that and to get involved in a Twitter space and to go on a podcast and talk about it, right? So you'd be the same amount of passionate if you were talking about funding for wars, if you were talking about collapsing bridges, if you were talking about people in East Palestine, Ohio, and Maui still homeless and FEMA doing nothing for them. And they know that. They know that. And they always try it out. And forgive me if you disagree, whoever's listening, but I'll say this, and I'll say this Sunday night with my partner, Blackest Proud Boy in America, for real. But they always try the shit on the black community first. And if it works in the black community, they roll it out to the white community. This beef got a lot of people not talking about the TikTok bill they just passed, which basically says that they can arrest you for promoting Donald Trump if they decide that they can, period. They pulled it off of the anti-Semitism bill, which is basically an assault on our free speech, right? And then everybody's like, election year. But you know what they're not saying? This is trash pass year. This is that year at the end of a term when he's going to pass all the trash he can. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
I 100% agree with everything you just said, but don't call it election year. It's
fair. Okay.
Selection year. It's who they're selecting, because me and you and the Americans in this country, I don't care whether you're black, white, Asian, Mexican, I don't give a shit about any of that. If you're an American with a social security number, they don't give a fuck about you, man. You are stamped tax cattle. That's all we are to these people, man. It's a selection coming up, Mike. I don't even think it's an election because the last one, you're not convincing me, and I'm not trying to get you in trouble. These thoughts are mine, not Fresh Mike's. But the last one, we know about it.
Stolen.
We know Operation Mockingbird. We know the church commission. It never ended. Who would think that they would ever end an operation to pay reporters and control the media? You know what I'm saying? And the last one that was truly elected was Kennedy. And they killed his ass.
Yeah.
Love him or hate him, disagree with his politics or not, I don't give a fuck. But they didn't like him, so they whacked him. Okay? And then in everything from there on was selected. And then when Reagan won, they're like, oh shit, these damn voters, well, we're going to force George Bush on them. It's, you know what I'm saying?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Haram says we know Obama weaponized the media. I agree. I will say Trump ramped it up. Like,
no,
and
Trump's just a puppet.
no, I'm sorry. Trump getting elected ramped it up on the other side.
Yeah, fuck up.
Yeah.
They thought, they believed the hype, dude. They believed the actual fucking hype. And I believe the stories when people were like, he was shocked to win that night. I really do, man. I really do.
Oh yeah. No one thought he was going to win, especially Hillary. So
And that's the most evil fucking cunt bitch on the planet Earth. Sorry, ladies, if you're offended by that language, but Hillary Clinton is a cunt, man. I'm sorry, bro.
think about all the people with gunshots in the back of their head. There's a guy. In fact, they're doing a whole podcast series on it now, and I would love to talk to him about it. But Oklahoma, the Murrah bombing. You know what I mean? And the guy who came out that had the evidence was found on the side of the road, shot in the back of the head, and it was called a suicide. They just found a guy that was connected to the Epsteins last year, hanging from a tree by an electrical rope with a shotgun blast in his chest and no gun anywhere. Because I know if I'm going to, and it was a suicide and ruled a suicide.
Puffy is just the whole Puffy shit's a distraction from that. Do you really care if Puff Daddy was fucking Meek Mill, or do you want to know who the fuck Jeffrey Epstein was palling around with? You see what I'm saying? The fucking not throwing in jail. They're gonna run this shit in the media because and you can watch all these fucking grifting ass YouTubers and Twitterers that chasing them fucking bullshit money instead of telling the goddamn truth, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, that's my biggest beef. I mean, I watched Tim Pool when I was over the road trucking. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But now you can't, like, dude, it's just not an original thought. It's the same shit over and over. I only watch if there's a politician on. Otherwise, he brings on randos and then rants the same shit night in and night out, night in and night out, night in and night out. And then when people get too close to the sun on his show, no matter what it is, he's so addicted to the YouTube tit. He's so addicted to the YouTube tit. You see when they pulled his video down the other day, he came on that night, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do. He got rich off their money.
Yeah.
And then, sometimes he might get too close to the sun, and he's not going to risk losing that money he gets from Google and YouTube to fucking ever tell the full blown fucking truth. He'll always be like, well, I don't know. Well, I don't know. Like the documentation ain't out there. Like Behold the Pale Horse ain't out there. Like the fucking everything, you know what I'm saying? Like the divide and conquer ain't out there.
I will say, okay, so how do I explain this? So, I know some folks that are in that mix, like literally in that mix, like they're working as we speak, right? Like, on that live show. And it's one of those where it's like, okay, if they were to come to you and say, okay, they don't come outright and go, you're our controlled opposition, we'll pick you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because we'll allow you because, while we disagree with you, you say this stuff in a way or whatever. And as long as you toe the line.
Oh, shit. What happened, Mike? I lost you. You still there?
You're back.
Oh, okay.
You're back. It was a little drip, but we're back.
That's that Oklahoma. What, you got a tornado going on out there right now?
Man, that's your internet, bro. My shit is solid. But anyway, no.
Yeah,
But
the
okay, so imagine if it was Rudy Cast, right? And you were telling the truth and doing you, and they came to you and said, "Look, there's these 3 or 4 topics, and as long as you don't breach these, you can do whatever you want. And here's $10 million a month." It would be very easy. Now, like Timcast has 20 employees, and that's what people forget. And I understand we talk about the guy, but if I had a podcast and I had 20 people, many of them with families and kids that depended on me, would that affect what I said sometimes?
yeah,
Right. And that's why he does have, in his defense, he does have that after show that you can pay for where he says whatever he wants. Right.
but I mean, even that. Look, even that, Mike. Even that. He's not going. He's not. He's playing their game, man. And that's.
Control. I mean, like I said, it's yeah.
I understand. Listen, money. I like money, bro. I went hard for the dough, bro. You know what I'm saying? I went hard.
Which I want to get into. Yeah.
As a young man, like I fucking was about money. You know what I'm saying? Money comes and money goes, man. But I mean, we've all been told, you know, like, dog, I spent, all right. Where you want to go with this, man? You want to go down memory lane?
First,
bro?
okay, before we get, I got it planned. I'll tee you up. But first, we got to talk about the Raiders for one quick second.
Oh,
You got too much awesome Raider shit behind you. Here's my comment on the Raiders, who I love. I don't love them as much as my team, but I love the Raiders. I'm a Ravens guy. You know, what am I going to do? Ray Lewis, you know. So, but I love the Raiders so much. They were, before the Ravens, they were my team. The most talented team not doing shit. You've got Josh Jacobs. You've got Tay. You've got a pretty solid offensive line. You've got a strong defense, a strong B+ to A- defense. You got a C+ quarterback. Why can't they make it work, though? And the coaching change, like, what do you think is going to happen next year?
All right, so the Raiders were on the right path, but got derailed. They got derailed because in 2021 they had Rich. Can I give a shout out real quick, Mike?
Of course.
Wasted Talent and Graphic Raider, some of the best Raider content on YouTube and on Twitter. And fellas, if I won't so stoned, I'd probably know your Twitter handles. But I mean, you know, they put out
What are you gonna do?
that. But in 2021, they were on the right path. They made the playoffs. The whole John Gruden bullshit was out the way. Now, a lot of Raider Nation will be like, they blew it. But they did draft some pieces, man. They had a decent draft. They went to the playoffs despite Henry Ruggs, all of that. Now, that whole team wanted to stay together with that coach. They all went to bat for that coach after the season. The way it went down, a guy named Rich Bisaccia. And Mark Davis the owner went and got a flashy little toy from New England named Josh McDaniels that had already fucked up a franchise once in his, when he got a shot. So at first I'm like, all right, I'm buying the mainstream sports people are like, oh, I mean, he's a genius, offensive genius. Then I'm watching the podcast, the ex-players, and they're like, yo, man, dude's a dick. You know what I'm saying? They're laying it out. So when the thing about the Raiders fans is they're a passionate fan base, man. So
Hell yeah.
Always 50-50, man. They never look for the bigger picture and stay even keel. Like when it comes to Derek Carr, a lot of people hated him. A lot of people loved him. I just was happy to have steady play at the quarterback. But when I say that to people, and I'll be like, look, Carr ain't he'll win you 4, lose you 2. You better put something together around him for the next 10 games. If you want to win, you're gonna have to have a defense. You're gonna have to have a better team. And they finally did it in 21. Then they fired the whole staff, brought in this other asshole. He gutted the team. And then halfway through the last season, they sucked so bad, then they made the coaching change to a ex-player who lets coordinators coordinate, and he motivates and oversees everything. Kind of like Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh. And to all these Raiders, same deal with Pierce. I didn't want Pierce. I wanted Harbaugh. And then half the nation's like, yo, I wanted Pierce. I wanted Pierce. Let's just let it ride out and watch what happens, man. If this guy gets the right coordinators around him, he's a motivator of men, and they're going to take off. Now, I mean, they're going to be a decent mob for the next couple of years. If I got the best I felt about him since I was like 20 years old, man. You know what I mean?
There is a ton of. I mean, you have arguably the best running back, and you by far, inarguably, the best wide receiver in the NFL on that team. So,
yeah, they
give him just. Sorry, go ahead.
Man, Max Crosby.
Yeah,
hey, man, I'm listening, man.
I love it. I love it.
You get to talking Raiders, man. I'll talk your head off, dude.
No, I want that more in depth. So
I'll talk your head. I'll do. Look, I'm gonna show you how stupid I am, since this is all about getting to know who the vet is, right?
Yeah.
So here's all these right here. This is signed by Bo Jackson.
Wow,
this is
that's badass, dude.
That's signed by Bo Jackson. This one's signed by John Ritchie. I met him.
Nice.
He officially signed that for me. Then I got Josh Jacobs, Fred Goff, Tim Brown. I don't know if the camera's good, but I'm going to slow down. Look, I got the whole 1970s Raiders in porcelain.
Nice.
Okay? I got porcelain Tim. I'm just going to slow pan, Mike, to show you how stupid I am with these Raiders, man. There's
badass, dude.
Ken Stabler. It's John Madden. And then over on that wall, I don't know if the lights are bright, but that's Tim Brown autograph jersey. Ken Stabler
81
jersey.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I got Tim Brown's autograph on my freaking arm, dude. I'm a Raider till I die, man. I just wish the fan base wasn't so toxic. You know.
Oh, I hear you. It's like Twitter. You got to be there, but
being so toxic, man. Yeah. But I knew that dude wasn't no good. When they made that coaching change, that second half of the year, that whole fucking team played such inspired football and showed they got some young talent, man. Now if they can coach it up, and I got a feeling they're going to coach it up.
Yeah,
that's brother. That's the vet. Wasted talent, graphic Raider. What's up, fellas? I'm the vet. Wasted. I already met you in public, but Graph, what's up, man? Let me get one of them headbands.
Holla. Okay, cool. I love that. It's important that people know you love the Raiders, and then it's important I know for my fantasy football league next year. Should I get? I've tried to have Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, I'd get him.
I'm so proud. I saw him early before he blew. I was like, that dude's gonna do some things,
dude,
you know.
Yeah. And if you have fantasy football, look, and that's another guy right there that the fan base is so divided on because he left. Like, the man made a business decision. That man gave us 5 years of angry, inspiring football. Okay. Right. So much love to you. You know, I'm glad you made a business decision. Once a Raider, always a Raider is supposed to be a motto that this fan follows. And the internet has become so toxic that people will text and tweet this dude and talk shit. Like, dog, he just laid it on the line for us for 5 years, man. Once a Raider, always a Raider is something that the fan base held passionately. There's a few exceptions like Randy Moss and Antonio Brown. You know,
Brown was not. But yeah, hey, there's bad in everything. But at least it's weird because fighters don't do that. It's not like, oh, you left the UFC and went to Bellator, you piece of trash. No, it's, UFC was giving you 2 and Bellator's giving you 5. Good job. Get that money for your family. Yeah, you know what I mean? You only have so many years to get your ass kicked before you can't do this anymore. So get as much as you can, man. You know.
But that game is an individual sport. You know what I'm saying? Like, less people. You think about the percentages of people who actually make it in that kind of sport, man. You know, who are really good at it. Like, and think about what the ones who don't make it in that sport, the ass whoopings.
Well, and what I'm interested in is
they'll beat the shit out of your everyday average Joe, but the ass whoopings they got to catch to keep trying to make it, man. It's got to be a little funny, man.
Fair. No, absolutely. Oh yeah, no, because you get it. But think about this too. What I'm interested in is 3-4 years down the road, now that the college players can get paid, and a lot of them know that this, it might be my shot to get my money. And I want to see how that affects NFL play because a lot of guys wouldn't go as hard in college knowing I've got an NFL career ahead of me and I can make way more. And these are young guys. These are 17-year-old kids. You put $1 million in front of me and go, hey, get that now, but not have a long-term career, or take the $1 million now and you're just great. You're never going to falter. And they don't understand. They could blow a knee. They could blow an ankle.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something, though. I'm going to tell you something what the NIL is going to do, right? The NIL is basically creating a couple super conferences of the real big schools that are going to dominate TV and everything. Mm-hmm. And you're going to watch those guys start to come into the NFL. We're about to see that first crop of real millionaires walking into the league like Caleb Williams. We're about to see that. We're going to see how they react.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because let's be honest, man. It's why I'm damn near every MC out there's first album is his best album, because they're so fucking hungry. Unless it was ill produced, and then they pop out on their second album. It's the same. Right. So we're gonna find, but I'm gonna say in about 5-10 years, looking at the youth, football players, let's see where it swings. But I got a feeling that small schools that don't that can't pay as much, they can only pay a player $50,000, the smaller universities, they're going to be the ones putting the talent into the NFL, because the other guys are going to go in spoiled, man.
That's an interesting take.
Some people get money and get lazy, man. You look at the history of pro sports and look at the average year time, and how long they play, and look at how many of them dudes come out of there and end up broke, man, or hurt. Oh, dude, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I know a lot of retired boxers and fighters. Some of them, were in the UFC for a while. And just you get out of it and you're kind of broken, and you don't really have any other skills. It's because you spend so much time becoming that guy. So, but speaking of being a fighter and being that guy and spending time,
right?
Talk to me, man. Let's wherever you want to start. I'd like to start at did you graduate high school? If so, where?
Yeah, I graduated.
And then go from there. Let's just
graduate in 1993 from Booker T. Washington High School, Norfolk, Virginia.
Nice.
Right next to Norfolk State University, dude. In 93, man. I tried to join the Marines when I got out. But when I was young, man, I got into an accident, man. I got a scar that runs across my head. I had to get my skull put up. So back then, you got to think old Bill Clinton got in and downsized the military. So I go to MEPS, man, right out of high school, like 2 weeks out of high school. I go to MEPS. That's where you go up to Richmond and do the physical, the paperwork, and all that, blah, 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 sign up. Well, the first time I went to MEPS, even though all the running requirement, push-up requirement, and sit-up requirement, I could do all of those, I was 23% body fat, and you couldn't join unless you were 21% body fat.
Oh.
Now, think about that. Now, here we are in 1993. I couldn't join the United States military because I wasn't the right body fat. Now you can join if you want sex change surgery. Think about that, America. Think about that. Anyhow, so I went back 30 days later. I basically went home and just ate a real clean diet. Still did all my exercises. I went back 30 days later. I go to MEPS in Richmond. It's packed. So we're there all day. Boom, 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 boom. It got so packed. They got so backed up there. Like, look, we're putting everybody in a hotel. We're doing swear-in the morning. It's like, all right, bet. So we go up to a hotel. There's a guy there named Gomez, man. Scott Gomez. And he's like, hey, man, we're gonna shave our heads, man. We're going to the fucking Marines. So we shave our heads. Well, if I shave my head, dude, I got a scar that runs all the way across my head right there. So I go back in. They're like, yo, what is that? So
yeah,
I'm like,
yes.
Yeah, they're like, you been to medical? I was like, yeah, I was through medical. And they're like, yeah, come on, man. They sent me back down to medical. They're like, what happened? I told them what happened. They're like, you got to get the paperwork. And now I'm frustrated because I don't have a job. I'm trying to get off the boot camp, right? So I'm like, and they're like, look, we'll put you in with this cycle of people, go get the paperwork, bring it back to us. If we'll let you run off with this group that goes to boot. They weren't going to lay me down for 30 days again. So I drove back to, I lived in Norfolk. The work was done at Portsmouth Naval Hospital. Went and got the paperwork, drove it back up there. Okay. And they rejected me. They're like, no, we can't take you. Now I played 4 years of high school sports, but I couldn't go to the military because of the head injury I received when I was 14. Think about that, America, when they tell you that it's some tranny general jumps on TikTok telling you about tolerance and acceptance. Far that military has fallen. I still deal with them a lot, when I'm towing, and I always show utmost respect to them soldiers. But it's fallen, dude. It's not what it once was. They're not hard men running that institution anymore, man. They're liars and snakes and thieves, man. They're not hard, honest men anymore. And Eisenhower,
remember, like the head chick, the head dude is a chick,
man,
right?
No,
You know what I'm talking about, yeah?
The trainee fucking health secretary of health, assistant general of health. He ain't shit, man. He ain't shit.
My man Black Sam Bob, he's a pirate, and he says, Rudy, that'd be a proper chowder dam.
What is a chowder?
Your beard is a chowder dam. It's proper.
Is that what they call it?
Yes.
Thanks. I appreciate it, man. Working hard, man. I'm going for that Ragnar Lothbrok look, man.
I love it. It's gangster.
Going for the descendant of Odin look, even though I'm Italian. I've been watching Vikings on Netflix. I'm like, yo, them motherfuckers got some badass. I'm gonna grow me out. I'm growing me out, man. One big huge braid that just runs down the back of my neck. I'm going back to biker roots. I don't care.
Yeah, my hair's getting long. I think just because summer, I'm gonna go super short again. Yeah, I mean, fuck it. So
cut my hair high and tight with a nice number 2 on top, with a ball fade up the side, from 14 to 46. Yeah. Now I'm spending 46 until the day I drop, letting this motherfucker grow out, dude. Fuck it. Tired of getting haircut, man. I just shave up the sides at the crib and keep it tucked up in the hat, man. I'm going hard in the paint, man. Fuck
it. She says backing out of the He-Man because I said this year, by the end of 2024, I was going to be rocking a He-Man with the thick stash and the bang, the He-Man look. So anyway. Anyway, I want that. So, but it's just hair takes so long to deal with, man. I prefer to be. I can't wait to go shave it bald.
Don't conform to their conformity, Mike. Don't conform to their conformity, man. Break out, man. Break out, brother. Break out.
So anyway, you try to get into the military. I want to get back to it. So you try to get into the military. They basically, at that time, back in the day, in the 90s, you had to be below 22% body fat and all these other crazy things.
Yeah. So I got X-nay. I mean, it was a different time, man. Clinton got in, and at first he downsized the military. They closed bases, put restrictions on it. And then, old Daddy Bush ruined that when he got in and said, Project New Century, we're going to fucking unleash hell on the Middle East and drain the fucking America. Story here nor there. So I get out of high school. All right, man. So me and my high school sweetheart had an apartment already. Because back then, I love my mom. I love love her to death. She was my world. My stepdad, he was 50-50, man. It could be rough with him sometimes, right? But me and my girl,
stepdad that I did not get along with, so I understand.
Yeah, I was lost, right? Because I was playing baseball. I had an opportunity to. I could have probably went to Norfolk State on a scholarship, dude. They were You know, because we were white boys that went to Booker T, man. White boys play some baseball, man. I don't care what you say. There's some fucking monster white boy baseball players in this fucking world, man. So Booker T, I mean, and my freshman year, like 5 of the guys on the seniors that went straight over to NSU and played 4 years over there at NSU. All got college degrees from Norfolk State. So, you know, the guy come over and scouted a couple times, man. I probably went to school there, but all I ever wanted to be was a Marine, man. All I ever wanted to do was go in the military, man. My father was in the Air Force for 27 years, got out, retired, went right back into civilian contracting, doing the same shit. My uncle did that, you know, same thing, 25 in the Navy, got out, went right back to work civilian contracting. My youngest brother did 2 tours. I mean, for crying out loud, my fucking grandfather, my mom's dad, was a tank commander in World War II, bro.
That's badass.
Grandpa McDonald was straight up in the Battle of the Bulge. He was in the shit, man. He was a hard fucking man. He was a hard man. He was a good man, but he was a hard man. You know what I'm saying? It's different generation. So that went afoul. So, you know, like I said, I had moved out halfway through my senior year. I wasn't getting along with my mom, my stepdad. Not as much my mom, more my stepdad. So I bounced. And then when I couldn't go to the military, like me and her had planned, like I was going to go to the military. We are going to get married, blah, 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 blah. That didn't happen. I'm working 2 fucking jobs. Shit's falling apart. Me and her are fighting all the fucking time. So she's like, has one of her friends is like, I'll just let me move in. So we break up. I go home. Man, I move home in 94. Like August 20th, 1994, right around my mom's birthday, 1994. I came home August 28th, 1994, and found my mom dead on the floor, man. Dead on the floor, bro. So, you know,
I did not know that yet. Wow.
Time, man. So, you know, I'm young as shit. My mom you know, that whole whirlwind happened. So my stepdad comes down and is like, you got to make a choice what you're going to do with your life, because you can't come live with us in Jersey. Nobody wants you up there. And, you know, I wasn't a bad kid, but I wasn't the best kid. And he's like, so you got to figure out. So basically, my older sister moved back up there. They sold the house, man. I proceeded to live in my car for the next 6 months, man. I was working at Revco. I had a friend that would let me shower and shit, but I couldn't stay the night there. And then after like 6 months, a friend of mine's mom was like, yo, is that kid fucking homeless? And they're all like, yeah. And she's like, no, you can stay with me. So I stayed with her. Miss Mimi, man, I'll never forget that lady, man. That was good shit. I stayed with her for about the next 6 months, got my shit together, got a little apartment. And then, you know, it was in high school, man, I knew some dudes, man, that did some things. So, I mean, I was young as shit. Mom just died. I had no care in the world, man. I wanted money.
Sure.
Grew up idolizing fucking war movies and mafiosa, man. It was gonna go one way or the other. I was gonna either be a soldier, or I was gonna be a fucking criminal, man.
And they took one of them from you, so
yeah, fucking in between, man. And I tried to walk the righteous path into the military, even though some people disagree with it, some people agree with it. To me, it's a righteous path, man. Right. I tried to walk the righteous path. They didn't let me walk the righteous path. And like I said, I grew up idolizing war movies and mafiosa. So it went in a different direction. I knew some dudes, knew some things, yada, yada, yada. Long story short, here I am talking to you.
You've clearly made poor choices, because here we are. No, I'm joking.
No. So,
I'm kidding. No. I know. Yeah, man. There's a little bit more to it, but I get it. You know what I mean?
Fuck, don't nobody want to be broke, man. I wasn't going to college, you know, and I ain't never been the one to fucking go to the same fucking job. Like, say what you want, man. It's a shit industry, but I meet different people every day. I go to different places every day. I drive a fucking tow truck around town. The money ain't great, but it ain't bad either, man. You know what I'm saying? I'd make a decent living to live the way I want to live now. Like, I chased the dollars. I chased the dream. You know, like I said, after my mom passed, I got my own place. Bills started stacking up. I knew some dudes. I was like, yo, what's up, man? I want in, man. So before I even started doing anything, man, I was selling rocks, man. I was selling crack, man, because it's 1994, 1995, Norfolk, Virginia. The
So
crack, the crack blitz started in the mid '80s in New York and spread out through the country. I mean, let's be realistic, man. It was like a 10-year run where that shit was everywhere.
so you
So
started selling crack first?
yes, and I'm
See,
gonna
that's
tell
crazy. You know what I mean? Like you started the hard stuff first,
you,
you
yeah, I
know.
just
So
jumped
yeah.
in, man. Jumped in. My boy was like, I see him getting ran to death. I was like, dog, let me link in, man. He was like, bet. I bought in and fucking took 50. And it was crazy because like half, you know, when I linked up with him, it just took off, dude. It just took off because like he had his shit, and then slowly and steadily I acquired my own customers, right? But this is the bad part, right? So I had a customer, you know what I'm saying, that a friend of mine, like him and his dad were just strung out, man, and they were going down in the ghetto. His dad got his ass whooped one night, so I was like, "Yo, dude, I got you, bro," and I was selling it to him, and then like maybe a year into it, man, his dad OD'd, man, and I just was like, man, this is fine. This, I ain't out here trying to kill people, man. You know what I'm saying? And the weed game was fucked up at the time, but my coke connect had fucking weed. I was like, well, fuck it. So listen, man, I went out into the burbs to the dudes that I was rolling with when I was moving where I was moving. I knew who was in control. They were all soft. So I was like, fuck it, man. I went to all their people and cut their nuts by $100. I took all the dope money, said, I'm done with the dope. Give it all to me in weed. Went out there and cut everybody by $100. And what could they do? What could they do? They couldn't beat me. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
And back then, like I was a hothead, I flew off the handle. Like I just wanted to buy for $1, sell for $2, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
But
that's
don't
honestly
fuck with,
why
what are
I
you
like the weed business because it wasn't like I mean, look, the harder shit, you will get killed. You know what I mean? They
gonna
will kill you over a block. Weed, no one wants that drama. You know what I mean? Strictly weed dudes, they'll just let you have it. You know what I mean? They're not trying to fight you. So yeah.
yeah, not only that, it's like, yeah, it just, dude, man, that man, that was my friend, man. Noah's dad was, Noah was my friend, man. And I saw what it did to them. And I'm not feeling guilty from selling them the shit, man. You know what I'm saying? That never crossed my mind because if I didn't sell it to him, he'd have went down to the projects and took an ass whooping to get his hands on it if it happened. So that's not my issue. It's just the ugliness of the crack game. I was like,
Yeah.
God damn, that's terrible, man. So I still got some kind of soul, but the weed game was why. I mean, I could jump right in. So then I take off. All right, I bought 20 the first time. About 6 months later, I'm trying to get a better deal out of dude. So I stacked up 80 racks and was like, yo, bro, that would have been an extra $100 off for me. And they're like, oh, we can't do that. Can't do that. I'm like, all right. So shit got dry for like 3 months. Nobody could get nothing. So you know what I did? I knew this hippie kid that was like, hey man, you can come out to Arizona, man. So you know what I fucking did, Fresh Mike? I jumped on a fucking airplane with $30,000 cash and flew to fucking Arizona and met this hippie kid.
Hell yeah.
I get to Arizona And the fucking dude that knows the guy with the weed owes that man $5,000. So I'm sitting in a hotel. I got this girl with me. The Mexican shows up. The hippie shows up. The dude shows up. The Mexican dude says, "Hey, man, he owes me $5,000." And then the dude was like, "Yeah, but he wants to buy this, this, and this." So I look at the Mexican dude. I look at dude because dude's soft. He's a hippie. I look at the Mexican. I'm like, "Look, dude, I'll give you the $5,000 he owes you, and then I don't want to talk to him no more, man. I'll just want to talk to you." And he was like, looked at the dude. He's like, "Yeah, I don't give a shit." So I gave him the $5,000. Now I got to connect. I bought 100 pounds. Well, I bought 100 pounds for like $35,000. I took it back to Norfolk, sold it all for 900.
Wow.
900 pounds. You know what I'm saying?
Woo. Yeah.
Now I'm like, okay, what the fuck am I gonna do? Right? I gotta get the money, right? So what I did then is I started we drove back out there. I rented a car, drove back out there. And then I was like, man, fuck this rental car shit. This is what we're gonna do. So we bought an Isuzu Trooper. We put a hamburger case on top, right? Looks like the hamburger, like a McDonald's thing. Remember them things? The X card.
Yeah.
Looked like a turtle shell / hamburger.
Yeah.
Open. We put that on top. We were strapping fishing rods all around it. We had a bike rack on the back of the Trooper with three fucking boom, 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 3 mountain bikes on it. Pack up some luggage. I pay 2 homeboys 5 racks to roll with me. You know what I'm saying? And we fucking drive out to Arizona. We fucking hang out there for a few days, get our shit, and drive back to Norfolk, Virginia. Now, we can only fit like 200 in that thing, right? 150, 200. If it's a real good, fluffy green shit. But, then I go back, and I'm hitting off the man that was hitting me off, man. Like, we're rocking, dude, from
Right.
like mid-95 to 97, man. Like, over that window. I go to and from Phoenix, Arizona 27 fucking times.
Woo.
Yeah, anywhere from 100 to 200 pounds. So then I'm like, man, I wanted to traveling. I was missing a lot, man. I was losing girls, missing friends, man. I put a Twitter post the other day of my minister, man. That's my brother, and we were rolling. We were like this, right? So he pulled me to the side one day and was like, "Yo, bro, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Dude, you made a lot of money, man." He's like, "Slow down, man. You don't have to keep going out there." And he's like, "Enjoy the money, relax a little bit, man. Invest in something legal. You're too fucking cool to go to jail, dog. You've gotten away with this for over 2 years." So instead of listening to that advice back then,
you'd say sounds wise.
When he'd be the first one to show up and be like, "Yo, I need 20 of them shits, man." You know what I'm saying? He'd be the first one to show up. "Come on, man. I'll be 20, man." So, but back then he was like, "Yo, after a 2-year run, now he's getting 20, 30 at a time. So his pockets are right too, man." You know what I'm saying? So everybody's eating, man. So instead of fucking listening to that advice, I said, "Fuck it, I'm going to get me a U-Haul full."
If some is good, a lot must be better. Yeah.
I said, "I'm going to get me a U-Haul full, man." So then I'm riding. I go out there, man. Like, I had an apartment out there. I was messing with this stripper broad named Leah from France out there that went to ASU. So I fly out there. She gets me Arizona State University ID. I fucking go to the thrift store. I buy a bed, mattress, but I buy a deep freezer. I buy a bunch of furniture, you know what I'm saying? Make it look like I had an apartment full of shit in there. So I stuffed that with 480 pounds in that freezer. But my dumb ass, like, the top of the U-Haul,
Yeah.
I put boxes up there. I had bought some raggedy ass dishes and threw them in a box. But I had a 5-pound brick that I didn't want to leave in the apartment. I put it in a box and wrote computer on it, strapped it all up in the top, stacked this whole thing. So from bottom of the fucking U-Haul to the top of the U-Haul is stacked with furniture, boxes. It looks like somebody's moving. So me and my boy take off. We head back. Well, on the trips back, we used to drive from like 6 a.m. to like 9 p.m. and then post up in a town. You don't want to run in the middle of the night with shit like that.
Right.
Speaking of the devil, you bastard, you Oklahoma bastard. So we were coming down 40, right? And 40 was getting pretty hot in Tennessee and Arkansas. So we take a left turn and shoot up 44, hop on 70, and then slide 64 and ride right down into Northern Virginia. But man, we fell in love with the strip clubs in St. Louis, man. So the day was timed out where we should have been to St. Louis in time. But we ran through these fucking thunderstorms in Oklahoma, dog. It was wicked, dude. Like, I saw cornfields getting blown to shit. Like, it was a wicked storm. It had traffic so fucked up. So then, man, my boy was like, man, come on, man, I want to go to strip club. I want to go to strip club. I want to go to strip club, because he loved that shit, right? That was his shot. He liked to go play. And this dude was like, he knocked a couple of them down, but he was like to stand in the back and play on the pool table and stare at strippers across the bar. Like, he didn't even sit at the table and strip, and tip or anything like that. The dude just like
the worst hobby.
That's the only
there's worse hobbies.
He never wanted to go to a club. He never wanted to go anywhere. All he wanted to do was hang out at the strip bar. So he's in my ear. Let's go. So we're trying, man. So on a Missouri highway, just south of St. Louis, man, this fucking stupid ass fucking county sheriff pulls us over and says, Mel, you're speeding. It's 2:00 in the morning. The traffic got so fucked up, but we were determined to make it to St. Louis. We would have spent the whole next day there. So, man, we fucking, he pulls me over and says we're speeding. Now 65, and the truck has a governor on it. It can't go more than 65. So I'm like, what are you talking about, man? He's like, let me see your ID and everything. Gave him. So we got Virginia's driver's licenses with the fucking
Arizona truck.
Arizona truck, right? So he's like, where are you coming from? So I have to show him the student ID, and he's like, I said, man, I got kicked out of school. My buddy flew out to fucking ride home with me, man. I got my whole apartment in the back. We're just trying to get to St. Louis. We had hotel room reservations. Pulls my boy out, says the same thing. And he's like, you mind if I take a look in the back? I'm like, no, absolutely not. He's like, I don't think your story really matches up. I want to look in the back. Do you mind? I was like, no, you can't go in the back. We ain't do nothing wrong, dude. I'm like, dude, it's got a governor. He's like, no, you were speeding, da, da, da. So by this time, here comes a couple more. Now they're like trying to sweet talk me and take a look in the back. I'm like, no, you can't look in the back. No. They're like, we're going to get a dog. So then we proceed to sit there on the side of the highway for 4 fucking hours while they wait for a dog. So they show up with this dog, walking around the car to let the car hit the dog and, give us the key, let us in. I'm like, no. And they're like, well, we can get a warrant. I'm like, get a fucking warrant. So I sit there for about another 2 hours while they wake up some fucking redneck ass judge. By this time, state police are there. Everybody's there. Everybody's fucking there now. So they come back with the warrant. They pop the thing. Now they look at the thing, and now, you tell a couple of them felt like, man, we're assholes because this shit's packed from root to the fruit, right?
Right.
So they start to pull a few things out, man. They're digging around for about a good 30 minutes, man. And, man, there was this one, man, that just showed up late in a Ford Bronco. And he's just like, he's ripping into everything. Man, that motherfucker cut open the box that said computer and found the 5 pounds, man. You know what I'm saying? And then, so now they got me in the thing, and they're like, my boy's like, I didn't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing. So he's in the clear, right? He ends up in the clear because I'm like, he didn't know shit about that. So, long story short, man, they get in there and clean everything out. One of them kicks the door, and he's like, yeah, they got like 500 of them in a freezer in this bitch. So then, I'm like, I just want to, I want to talk to a lawyer. I want to talk to a lawyer. They're
Yeah.
asking
No
me,
shit. What
you
was
know,
the overall weight?
we
Like,
don't. It was like 485, man. So they're like, they're bitching and moaning and bitching and moaning and bitching and moaning. So finally, the lawyer comes down. I call this lawyer. He fucking comes down out of St. Louis, shows up like 2 days later. I tell him, what's going on. And he's like, you didn't talk to him or nothing? I'm like, no. So they're like, you want to cooperate? I'm like, nah, there's nothing really to cooperate about, dude. I'm like, nah, I'm good, man. And he's like, so he looks at the case. He's like, well, it's going to cost you 50 grand, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, bet, money's not an issue. Let's go. He comes down, he looks at the case, and they fucked up, dude. They never wrote me a ticket. There was documentation on the truck that showed that the thing had a governor on it.
right.
Why'd you pull me over for no fucking reason? A county sheriff on a U.S. interstate in the middle of the fucking night, dude, when I was doing nothing wrong, because there's no cars there, just like the town I live in now. I'm coming off the road at 4:30. Like, I love living where I live. I love the seclusion. I'm on the outskirts. I'm 10 miles from town. But in the town, they're still assholes, man. Like, I
Exactly.
get off the fucking interstate at 4 o'clock in the morning after towing cars all night. It was a slow fucking night. I towed like 2 cars. I might have made 250 that night. I'm driving down my secluded ass country town road heading out of town, doing 53 and a 45, and this bored ass town cop decides, I want to pull you over for 8 miles an hour over. It's a $30 ticket. I go pay the ticket. I paid it this morning, as a matter of fact. $30 ticket. They charge motherfucking $231, $200 in court cost today. I mean, it's a racket, man. It's a fucking racket.
Wow.
It's a fucking racket, man. Even in a small town, man.
And they banged you with the ticket. He wouldn't let you out with the warrant. You're like, man, I'm a working man trying to get home, brother.
But the town cops in this little town that I live in, that I gotta drive, that it gets up right off the U.S. highway. I gotta be in town for like 2.5 minutes just to get, to make the left turn and start heading out into the country roads. But they just, like, I got pulled over one day, man, by a state trooper in town. The sheriffs, the people that are elected, the people that we get to vote for, they're cool as shit. They pulled me over like 3 times for rolling a stop sign at like 4 a.m. And every one of them has been like, come on, dude, knock it off. That's all they say. They check my shit, make sure I'm not drunk, and be like, yo, knock it off, dude. That's how it should be, man. You know what I'm saying?
Agree.
At 4 o'clock in the fucking morning, no one's out. And like he's like, why do you keep rolling this? Like, he sits behind the same grain barn watching the highway like over a 6-month period. And I would come up to the intersection at 4 o'clock in the morning going to get in my rig. You could see 2 miles to the left, so you could see headlights. Right. And I just rolled the stop sign to make the right to head into town, and this fucker's sitting across the street. And he pulled me over 3 times, and then the 3rd time he was like, dude, what are you doing? Stop doing that. Just come to a complete stop. He's like, I'm sitting right across the street. Because the night that he pulled me over and he said that to me, right, one of his buddies was sitting there. He's like, you're making me look bad, man. I had no choice.
That's a cool cop, though, man.
Yeah, the sheriffs are all right, dude. They're elected, man. They just want to keep the peace and make sure people ain't drunk. They're not out here looking to tax and spend, man. The town cops they're generating revenue for their town, man. That's what they're fucking doing. 100 people in there at $200 is $20,000 a day, man.
That's true.
What the government does, bro. They're the biggest mafia out there, man.
And
backed by the law.
and don't cross them, man. They like war, and they're gonna get their war, or they'll kill you in the way to war. So
not enough. The $4,500 a year property tax, that's not enough, man. We got to get some. We got to squeeze you for a couple of no seatbelt. I mean, I went from one gas station to the next, less than a quarter mile, and the state trooper pulled me over for not having a seatbelt on. I said, bro, I just left that gas station across the street. He said, yeah, so. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I mean, I had that interaction on my old phone, man. And I dropped it in the river, and I hadn't backed it up, man. I wish I still had that video. I'd put that out on Twitter right now. and show you what kind of asshole he was, man.
That's who you had to deal with. Also, I think, man, they're just kind of on your ass, dude. Or
No,
move to a bigger city where they can't keep up with you so much. Because,
no,
man, that sounds crazy.
it ain't that bad. I'm just out. Like I said, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, bro. They got
Yeah.
nothing to do.
And there's nobody else really out at that time.
But instead of just taking your fucking salary and going to sleep and waiting for somebody to call for some real help, you're out there sitting behind a Wendy's, clocking people, writing tickets for 8 miles an hour to get an extra $200 for the city, man.
That's fair, I guess.
Not even a city, a town. The town cops, town of Edenton.
What's the population?
Oh shit, man. I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000.
Oh, it's a small one. Ooh, that's a tiny one.
Oh, it's small.
Okay, so you get busted side of the road.
Yeah.
A metric fuck ton of weed.
Yeah. So
Detective, like 500 L's.
The lawyer's a little slickster from St. Louis, Danbury song, good dude, comes down and is like, look, man, we're going to rumble this. Keeps telling the DA, we're rumbling this. So he goes and tries to get a change of venue, but the judge shoots it down. Now, mind you, man, in this little town I'm in, like I hear my name on the radio, this thing's on local television, like they're talking about this. So he's like, man, listen, man, we're going to rumble it. We're going to rumble it. So he go in there. We're getting ready to go to trial. The day of the trial, they come out and they're like, he comes out. He's like, look, man, they're going to give you a plea down to just possession with intent. And they're going to give you 5 years, man, or you can go to trial. And he's like, that's the plea deal today. And I was like, what do you think? And he's like, dude, like, you can go in there in front of these 12 jurors, and there might be one or two of them sympathetic to your story. He's like, but the most part, you're in God's country with farmers that work hard for every dime, and they might just be pissed off, you know. He's like, you're playing with fire when you go to that jury. He's like, yeah, we got a lot of evidence that should be thrown out, but it's not going to be. And he's like, or you could take this 5 years and be home in 2. I was like, all right, guess I'm going away. So I did 2 years in Missouri. So I get out and, you know, I go in 97, I get out in 99, with 3 years of parole, you know, get home right at the end of 99. So people owed me some money when I was gone. Basically, I left some with my sister, but my older sister's a great human being, but she's not a motivated person. So, she spent some of it, but I don't care. That's family. But I basically come home and a few dudes owed me some shit, but one dude owed me a decent amount of money, and I showed up to him and he's like, I ain't got no money. And he's like, but I give you all this, and he whips out a bunch of weed.
Right back in.
Dude, 48 hours. I'm not even home 48 hours.
Oh my God.
But he owed me money and that's all he had. So then I'm like, well, just give me that. And I take that and go to, you know, basically people I fought with. Some people came up, some people were down, some people just did me the favor. You know what I'm saying? Or I was like, look, I need to get X amount of dollars for these. And it was overpriced, but everyone knew I was getting on my feet with it. So everybody showed love. So fast forward from there until 04, man, we're banging out. Now this time I'm not traveling. One of my boys came up while I was gone and found a connect. And then when I came home, we just turned it into fucking, you know, he was getting his little 20. We turned it into 100, 200, 300, 400. You know what I'm saying? Got right back into it, man. So then in 04, I hit a dude off, man. I hit a dude off that had gotten some trouble. And I was just like, I didn't really want to fuck with him, but he was my friend, man. And I eased up off him for like 6 months. And I kept saying, look, I got you, man. I got you, man. When you go away, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So he was like, man, look, I know you don't trust me, but I need to make some guap before I go away, man. Can you hit my girl off? So I hit his old lady off. She's the cop. She's working with the cops. Like, she wasn't a cop, but she's the cop main snitch. You know, she comes and I give it to her. Now they got the evidence.
Yeah.
And he's calling me up. He's calling me up. So I had got like 50 pounds one day, man. I got rid of all but 10. But he asked me for give her like 3. I went and gave her 3. She come out and gave me the money. Now they're just sitting at my house waiting for me to get home, man.
Damn it.
So I run around all day, man. I got zooted. Because in my house, man, I had 2,000 watt high pressure sodiums and 4 tubs full of Afghani hydroponics growing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's no hiding it.
Listen,
There's no the cops are here. Flush it. You can't flush that. Yeah.
earlier that day, I told my homeboy, right? There's a homeboy, man. He knows who he is if he ever ends up seeing this on social media. I told him. He came over and bought 5. I had 10. I had 15 left. I said, man, look, man, just take all of this. No, I just want 5. But he would come pay me cash for 5 every day. I didn't want to go to the stash house, right? I didn't want to go to the stash house. I was lazy. I got lazy. So I left it at my crib with the weed I was growing. And then when they came and kicked it in, they kicked in my address. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, they caught me with 10 pounds. Now, see, dude was in the loop. He knows everybody. We all grew up together. You know what I'm saying? The only reason I even, dude, it was just weed. Like, dude, he wasn't even looking at real time, dude. He was looking at me like 18 months at the most. He had a gun with it. That was the problem. In Virginia, don't play with the fucking guns. But the kid, I mean, they'll let you have them legally and easily. But if you fuck around with them, they're going to take them away. You know what I'm saying? Back then, anyway. That's how Virginia rolled. Now that's a whole nother story. So, yeah, man, they knocked me off. Now they know a lot, and they're like, did this, and this, and this. And I'm like, man, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So I hire up a nice lawyer in Virginia. And he's like, what about this? What about that? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Dude's a liar. He embellished. I don't do that. I've never had that much. I don't know what you're talking about. Played dumb as shit forever. But they knew the names. They're like, we want this one, and this one. We know more than you did. I'm just playing dumb.
Yep.
So, I end up, the lawyer's like, look, dude, we're going to go in here. We're going to, just plead guilty. We'll get you the sentencing guidelines, So I'm like, all right. So in Virginia, fill out what's called a pre-sentence report, man. They give you a suggested low amount of time, mid amount of time, and high amount of time through the standards. Like, so you get 3 numbers when you're done with your pre-sentence report. The judge is, this would be the low amount of time for this charge. Boom, boom, boom. The three levels. So my low was like 3 years and some change. My mid was like 4 years and some change. And my high was 5 years and some change. I proceed to go to court. I plead guilty. The judge, the DA gets up and talks about how uncooperative I was, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, not snitching, the judge come back and said, I sentence you to 20 years, suspend 13 with a $15,000. And then another $2,000 and another year ran concurrent for maintaining a public nuisance, for having the fucking
Grow.
Yeah, but the grow was empty at this time. When they kicked it in, the grow was empty. Like, because like I'm trying to, that day, like I had a 5-gallon pickle jar full. Like, dude, I grew to smoke. And I sell a little bit to some people because I had friends that liked it. But for the most part, if I grew and got 2 pounds, a pound of it was going into fucking pickle jars, and that was my shit. I was smoking good shit. It was to the point in my life where I was like, I'm never smoking weed with seeds in it again, and I haven't since that day. I said that to myself. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a fucking bougie pothead, man. When it comes
Speaking of your friends liking your shit, I'm a friend of yours, and holy cow, with the gritty man, your shit was so good. I ended up with like 1 bud left because people would leave shit in my room. My room is the chill room, just leave shit here. I ended up with like 1 good one left. I don't know if it was supposed to go to whoever, whatever, or some. Anyway, like 1 good nice bud. rolled it right there in the airport. It was me and Pro. And like I got a video of him smoking because it was legal. He's like, man, be careful. I'm like, no, it's legal here. We can do this, I think. As long as we don't enter into the gates, that's federal. We're still local. And he was like, yeah. And so I literally busted the shit out right there on a table, broke it down, rolled it up. We walked right outside, right in front of a police car, and we're smoking. He's like, get a picture, man, get a video. So we were so sad. I was like, I want to take this on the plane. He's like, man, don't take it on the plane, dog. He's like, it's not worth getting hemmed up over like a jag. I'm like, you're right. You're right. Not right now. We got too much shit to do. So,
because like Psych Tyson, so Psych Tyson said at the Grifties, before the Friday night show, remember how we were all outside
chilling? Yeah.
And Psych Tyson walked over. He's like, give me the keys, man. He went to get his cigarettes out of the car. He said when he walked back, he saw all of us standing out there and this low aura of smoke. He said, dude, you set a mood. He said, dog, you don't understand how good of a mood you set by the way you fired.
Perfect.
And I didn't even realize it at the time. I was just showing off.
No, man, it was so fun. You set the mood. You showed everybody the love.
Yeah, but
also,
I was showing off, dude, because I was like, for a month, I'm like, I'm bringing fire.
We were excited.
You know what I'm saying?
That, man, I want to show this picture right here. This was us at the Grifties with Hotep Jesus himself. That's something I shared back in the day, but I just wanted to share it real fast so people, you know what I mean, can see that.
That was a good picture, dude.
Yeah, man, look at you. You looking reset. I'm in the Hotep shirt, HJ chilling. That's a hell of a pic, man. So
that was a good week. That was an epic weekend, dude. That was an epic week.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun, man. And it was cool to meet Psych, man. He's cool. What's so funny is you guys couldn't be more different looking. You're similar people, like good folks, but like he's like straight, hip hop, Gucci, you know what I'm saying? And you're like, country hood. So
I grew up in the country, but like Sykes, my father and his second wife. So Sykes' mom's my stepmom. She's a fiery Panamanian chick, man. So my dad was a grumpy bastard, man. He was a hard man, dude. My father, I didn't really, from like 5 to 18, I only seen him twice, man. Like I said, when he lived out in Oklahoma, I went out there for 3 weeks. I only seen him, and then he came home when my grandma died. I seen him for a couple days, and then we went to Florida like a year after the divorce. But otherwise, from 5 to 18, I seen him 3 times.
Wow.
And then once I got out of high school, he's like, he sold me a car. He didn't give me a car. He sold me a car. You can make payments on it. A 1984 Toyota Corolla that belonged to my grandmother. Yeah.
I'd have taken it and not made payments. Been like, come get it.
Well,
I dare you. No.
Well, first of all, he had me hijacked for like the down payment because he had my savings bonds that I was bought when I was a child. So he had some of those on him. So he's like, I'm going to take 500 of these now.
Yeah, it's funny, man.
Hey, like listen, you would never had anything given to him, man.
Dude, hey, dude, I had electric bills shut off in my name by the time I was 16. You know what I mean? Because my family would open that shit in my name. It would get shut off. Then they'd reopen it in their name because it was cheaper, than.
I mean,
so, yeah.
Like, dude, we ain't dog. So.
And I never met my father, never laid eyes on the man.
I lived in North Jersey till I was 10, brother. Right?
Wow.
So I live in this little rural town in North Jersey. My uncle's in the Navy. He gets moved from San Diego, from the West Coast Fleet to the East Coast Fleet. He ends up in Norfolk, Virginia. He's got a house. He calls my mom. My mom's best friend was a very successful woman named Beverly. She owned a hairstyle place. She owned. She was a very savvy businesswoman.
Good.
Her husband was a big time farmer, so they came from dough, dude. They had a sheep farm and all, like they made dough. So they were going on vacation to the Outer Banks, and my mom, this was her best friend, so she's like, "We'll help you guys go too." Like, so they rented the house for us, but my mom had to pay for groceries and everything. But on the way down, we drove down and we stopped at my uncle's house. Now my mom had just got out of school from to become a dental hygienist. She had worked for a couple dentists while she was up there, but she made solid money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's good money gig.
But in Jersey back then, to raise 3 kids on your own. You know, the child support back then won't. You know, I'm pretty sure my dad was paying like $300 or $400 a month for all 3 kids. You know what I'm saying? This is
Yeah.
1980. They got divorced in 1980. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Child support was it ain't like it is now. It ain't like it is now. So we lived in a 1-bedroom garage above my grandparents' house, man. Me and my 2 sisters shared a room. My mom had, but she goes down to Norfolk. We see my Uncle Tom, and she's like, God damn, for the money I make in Jersey, I could own a house down here.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't. And my uncle's in the Navy, so he's not really linked into what's going on. Like, he's a grown ass man. But it wasn't like Norfolk was a good boom. I moved in, and you want to talk about a fucking culture shock? Like a fucking culture shock, bro. A culture shock, man. A culture shock. It went from small town to a city with some, and then, the first year was rough enough. That one first year of middle school, you know, then I get bused, you know, to downtown Norfolk, Booker T. Washington High School, across from Tidewater Park, or across from Young Park, Norfolk State University. We got Huntersville over here. Like, it's some of the roughest hoods in Norfolk, Virginia. And then right on the other side of the bridge, there's called Berkeley, a real rough neighborhood. And they bust the kids from Berkeley all the way out to 5 minutes from my house at a school called Lake Taylor. Like, I went to Lake Taylor Middle. I would walk there every day. And in high school, I got busted into Booker T. That's where I cut my bones, man. That's why, I fuck with Hotep Jesus and them, is because, like, I grew up in that area,
Yeah.
you know.
With those cats, with the similar cat. I get it, man.
I,
100%.
I went to school, I'd be the only white kid in class, man. But, even back then, with the sports, it helped, man, because, you meet dudes and you go to battle with them. So, it's a different ball game. But
Well,
I
man,
ain't,
the one thing I kind of like about the more integrated scenarios is you learn respect. It's real easy to not respect people you don't know and don't understand. It's real easy to say they're just doing it wrong, you
well,
know?
the thing about black culture in the 90s, you know what I'm saying, as a white dude who grew up in it, it was about respect, but it was still on the cusp of, we're going to throw down, we're going to shoot the fair one, man. Like, if you were cool with somebody, or um I've seen it all. But I always caught only 1 or 2 times I ever got jumped, man. You know what I'm saying, for being me. But most of the time, it's just shoot the fair one, win or lose. It didn't really matter, as long as you shot the fair one, man.
Yeah.
But then as you got older, then the gunplay came in, like, 91 to 95. There's a lot of gunplay, man.
Yeah, I would say to me, I felt the change around 95, but then, maybe a little younger, but it just seemed like early 90s, there was some gangster shit, but it wasn't the same. And then kind of like when like gangster hip hop really took hold and Boys in the Hood and that whole thing took hold, like, you know what I mean? It became gangster all over the world. It was
I think it was,
so,
I think it was some of that. I just think it was just the mood of the country at the time, man.
yeah,
I think
fair.
he's like with the especially like when you look at the music scene, like, hip hop was just starting, there's just so much hot shit flying off the shelves at that time. But even like, if you go to the metal side and the rock and roll side, like, when I sit back and make the comments on the Griff Report and shit about the hip hop, rock and roll and metal ain't putting out any great shit anymore either, man.
Correct.
There's no
I
Led
will,
Zeppelin. There's no
man.
there's no fucking Metallica. There's no Iron Maiden. There's nobody putting music out like that no more. And then even with the 90s, with the, like, when you go to the grunge, there's no one putting out Pearl Jams. Like, all the Soundgarden, these guys, where are they, man? What have
Yeah.
you heard? What have you heard that's good, man?
That's to me the best thing to do is look like, and I only listen to old shit. Really, I'm like that's all I really listen to. Like probably the newest stuff I listen to is from like the early 2000s, right? But
Right.
uh, I was actually talking to Bryson Gray about this, and the interesting thing, because the internet bad and good, lots of bad. But one of the cool things, you have to dig a little harder because it's not just fed to you. Like you turn on your TV or radio and they say this is the good shit, and a lot of it was good. Don't get me wrong. But nowadays, you have less mega superstars, but you have a lot more access. Like I can love a band in Hawaii, and I can think they're an amazing band and I can tune into their live streams and listen to their music. I just have to search it out a little more, But I guarantee there's local bands in Virginia doing killer stuff. Like in Texas, I mean, we have Gary Clark Jr. and stuff like that. So, but you have to dig them out and they don't sell a billion records anymore, but they make a good living. And it's almost like the music has gone old school again, where it's regional.
I mean, I just the days of the mega band are just as dead as the days of hip hop, dude. Like music is.
Believe it or not, Drake and Taylor Swift are in those spots right now. You know what I mean, as far as selling out and stuff. And look how not good they are.
No, my stepdaughter used to listen to that Taylor Swift. It drive me up the fucking wall, dude. I don't know. But
what drives me because she sells so many records, but you cannot tell me she's the most talented. I promise you, I could go to a church. I could go to any regular random black church on any Sunday, and you will see 5 women in there that can sing better and are more entertaining to watch than Taylor Swift. It's not hard to find that. So, yeah.
No, I mean, I was never.
Anyway, we got to get back. Sorry. We keep getting sidetracked. Okay, so you get the judge hammers you with a 20-year sentence, 13 suspended, so you're looking at 7.
So basically, I get home in 2010. I get out in 2010.
Okay.
So
how much time all in did you end up serving on that second run?
So all together it's like 9 years and a couple months, man. That's why I would say just 10 years, man. Who the fuck really wants to count? It was 10 blig-ups, man. We're gonna round up, okay? Man. So the moral of the story is, man, what the dude I was telling you about is really up now. So now here I am, the second time out, man. The second time home. Within 48 hours, this dude's got 400 pounds getting dropped off at his house. And I'm standing there in the driveway when the car pulls up and the guy backs in. He's like, yo, help me move these out. I was like, fuck nah, nigga. Oh, my bad. But that's what I said to him. I said, hell no, I'm not going up in there with you, man. I'm not doing it. He's like, dog, you better stop like that. I'm giving you cut off of this. And I was like, shit, man. So I was like, I'll just stand here and keep my eye out. And they moved it all in the house. Got back into it, man, for 2014, man. 2014, man. I was so knee deep in the shit. I was like, I got to get out of here, man. So my dad and Psych and my other brother all live in Delaware, man. So I moved up to Delaware. The bad part about that was, so I was riding bikes at the time, and I missed home because we were like, there'd be 30, 40 of us riding around on bikes, man. Just we were out there. So I started coming home every weekend, and then dudes in Delaware really didn't have nothing, So the nickel, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like from 10 until I left Delaware, I got rich like I was. No, I wasn't. Like I stacked up a decent amount of cake, but nothing. Not more than like $25,000 saved up. You know what I'm saying? But I bounced. I was like, fuck it, I'm out of here. So then I'm riding down and I meet a couple dudes and I start dating this girl in Delaware and she brings me to this kid's house and he's like, man, you can get that for that? I'm like, yeah. So next thing you know, I'm riding my motorcycle down to Norfolk every other weekend from Delaware.
Saddlebags just packed full.
Oh, not even saddlebags, a duffel bag. I don't have saddlebags on my bike. I have a duffel bag. I fill up a Marine Corps style duffel bag, throw about 5-6 pounds in that bitch, throw fucking clothes on top of it, wrap that shit up, and shoot that fucking ride on my motorcycle.
That's awesome. Well, and what's funny about it is, okay, so to a normal person, that's nuts, right? I strapped 5 L's on my back on a motorcycle and rode, that's nuts. But in context, that ain't shit to you. You know what I mean? You're like, well, it's not a U-Haul. You know what I mean? It's not 400 L's in a fucking Isuzu Trooper. It's
Dude,
you know what I'm saying?
it's it's just I'm like the Hotep Jesus. I'm ahead of the time, bro.
Agreed.
Back then, like watching, look at Blow, man. Like he said, it's just some fucking plan, some imaginary fucking line, man.
Yeah.
I was destined for two things. It was either going to be military / law enforcement way, or it was going to be the criminal way. There was no in between, man.
Well, and what's funny is it's similar. It's a similar person that excels in those fields, right?
Yeah,
It's a similar thought process and personality. That's why, honestly, man, that's one of the reasons I'm pro Trump, so pro Trump, is because it takes a gangster to deal with gangsters. You tell me, okay, you got Putin, you got Xi Jinping, you got Klaus Schwab, you got these people. These are evil people that will happily mass genocide millions, happily, no problem.
yeah.
And you're going to send Biden to go talk to those people? You're going to send Joe Biden, Mr. Shit His Pants, to negotiate on behalf of America, who they consider their number one enemy? Or are you going to send another gangster in? You're going to send somebody that's like, fight me, I'll fight you back. Slap me, I'll slap you back. Hey, China, you fuck with us, we pull all the medication money from you, and we start building our own medication factories. Do you want that?
Be there in the first place. I'm gonna tell you like this, man.
I know. What's wrong to do? I'm not saying I approve of that. I'm just making the point that, they tell Joe Biden we're raising our prices. He's like, well, okay. And that's, I can't have that.
Here's how easy it is to fix America, right? Here's how easy it is to fix. And I'm a vote for Trump. Look, first of all, 2020 is the first time I ever voted in my life, because I had no rights until 2020, until a Democrat governor gave me my rights back.
Nice.
My gun rights, you know what I'm saying? My voting rights. I have to serve on juries now, but I'll go there and be a disruptor. I'll be like, everybody's innocent. I'm letting these motherfuckers go. I'm letting everybody go. Put me on Trump's jury. But I'm going to vote for Donnie T if I decide to vote. My thing is, I don't really have hopes he's going to change too much. I just hope he opens up that economy like he did the last time, so I could be a little bit wiser with my money. Not like I came out of that nice blitz with a run, a tractor trailer, a house. I came out with some deep, but I would just, if I could have 4 more years of that economy, I could be sitting pretty for the next. I could be sitting pretty to the end, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a
through
simple
retirement.
Yeah, bro. I'm a simple man now. Like I'm gonna work till I drop. I mean, it is what it is. So I'm not, you know what I'm saying, Mike? But it's like 4 more years of that economy, the money I was making under that man, like that's what made me go out and vote for him, dude. I had best 2 legal years of my life, and those 2 legal years probably beat 3 or 4 of my illegal years. Like the money flowed under that man. So I just hope, a lot of that shit, there's just not changing it, buddy. You know that.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. And I appreciate you and Protocol pushing that shit to the people, man. You can't push that shit to the vet, but push that shit to the people. Because if we could get 4 more years of a Donnie T economy, we might be able to pull ourselves out of this shit.
Well, and it's once again, man, it's given the options we have. That's what drives me crazy about the far left. They're like, everybody's a Trump cultist. I'm like, not necessarily. I can say a lot of stuff Trump does wrong. And in fact, my suspicions I kind of just put in the closet because I don't want to dig too deep and realize he is what I fear he is.
Right.
Which is not anything the left is saying, but more of just a deep state player on that level. And there are several, the pushing the vax, and being proud of that still to this day, not going in hard to help the J6 protester. There's a lot of stuff I'm not crazy about with the guy. However, at the end of the day, right now we have and I've said this many times, and I'll argue this with any liberal, and that is basically love or hate the man. Right now we have a war/debt-based economy. That is a bad economy. That economy is meant to implode upon itself. It's meant for the people at the top to extract all the wealth, and then it implodes upon itself, and everybody at the bottom is left to eat each other.
See, here's the problem. Here's the problem. Is that labor got too expensive, right? Along with the taxes. Now, if the fucking government would just look at Apple and say, "Hey, look, you cocksuckers, I'll give me 10% of everything you make if every job you have in manufacturing is made in America. I only want 10% of your take." You know what I'm saying? Look at Ford, say the same thing. But now they're talking about 21%, 27%. All these people, they created a whole industry of fucking financial fucking
Well, and
bullshit.
that's
Who
well,
fucking tax codes that are completely I mean, dude, it's out of control, dog. You got to think about it like
agreed.
the federal government, not counting the U.S. military, has damn near 12 million employees between the federal government, bureaucrats, politicians, and fucking contractors. They're the largest employer in the fucking country, man.
And regardless of party, they're always
It
going
was,
to decide on getting themselves more money. Where
yeah,
I'm always going to default on this side of getting Mike more money. And if I work for the government, that means I got to get the government more money. That means I got to tax higher or pull from other programs.
yeah. You know what it really is. But like I said, you gotta, when it comes to politics, just there's no single issue. You know what I'm saying? That's a distraction. The only way you should ever vote, if you want to vote, if you want to participate in their stupid thing, is vote for the guy who's going to let you keep the most of your own money.
Exactly. Well, and that brings me to my other point, which is okay, so Biden is still pushing a debt based war economy to the point of he's trying to raise capital gains tax, which takes all the rich people and anybody even in lower middle class that saved up, bought a couple of acres. They can sell an acre and, you know what I mean? Buy a nice house on that. Anyway, Trump wants to put us back on an oil based economy, ultimately to a gold based economy.
Money has to be backed in something, dude.
Yeah, well, and when ours isn't, that's the problem. Our money
Dude,
is backed in debt, but Trump is like, let's base it in oil. Now, love or hate the guy, I want a country that produces a natural resource that makes us rich,
like
right, and makes us friends with the rest of the world on some level. And then with that oil money, he buys gold, just like the Saudis did. And now we have a gold oil backed economy, and we are unfuckable with as a country.
Yeah, dude. Think about it like this, brother. I'm pretty sure. Was it 18 or not? No, it was 19. Go back and look in 2019. There's podcasts out there talking about the world's falling to shit. For the first time, speculators got oil at $0 a barrel. I'm telling you, go look. You can find podcasts from 2018, 2019 when that oil was. Dude, damn, I wish I had a storage unit and a place to put oil, dude.
Well, I didn't realize, like, dumb as I am, I am trailer trash. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to say I'm a smart guy. I like to say I read and research because I do, but I'm not the smartest of guys. However, I didn't know America could have a surplus of oil. I didn't know it was an option for us to have a surplus of oil that we could sell to other nations and benefit America. I didn't know that.
Dude,
why have we not been doing that for 100 years? What are we doing?
You want to sell it to other nations? Fuck them other nations. I just want to keep it here in America, dude.
Give me free cars and gas, which we could, quite honestly, at that point.
About the fucking earth, the fossil fuels, I mean, listen, man. Fossils just melt in the oil. You ever realize that there's a core of the earth that's supposedly a hot ball of fire, putting out all kinds of gases? You see a volcano blow up, and you think that oil is from a fucking dead dinosaur? You fucking morons.
And I'll do you one better. Dinosaurs don't even exist. That's all made up shit. And I believe that, truthfully.
We can go down that rabbit hole if you want to go down that rabbit hole.
No, but we're about to wrap up. I like to keep this one at least like 2 hours. We're about at 1:45-ish. Right. So what I wanted to do was then get into like just real fast, tell me a little bit about how you got enlightened to the Hotep world. How did you find it? You know what I mean? Like, I know how I found it. Like, what brought you into this world? Because you're such a key part of it. You know what I mean now? But I know you were a fan at first and then jumped in. So tell me that story real fast.
Because, so I got into Bill Cooper and all that in prison. Alex Jones AM radio at the prison I was at. So I'm listening getting baptized by fire in that. You know what I'm saying? So then, you know, I'm driving a rig. So at 16, I get a rig. I'm in a rig. I'm driving a rig across the country. My brother sends me a tweet from when the shit was, you know, all this bullshit started of Hotep Jesus at the Starbucks. My brother's
Yeah.
like, this is out Hotep. And then Sykes like laughing. He's like, his name's Hotep Jesus. Oh, this dude's crazy. Look at this shit. It sends me that, man. So then, and Hotep's been told you, man, I was somewhere between 40 and 60 episodes in. I was locked in every Thursday night. And then HJ started going to the Daily Griff Report. I just, you know, was driving my rig, doing my thing. I was like, man, catching this show. Then he started call-ins. And when he started calling in, I started calling in. And, you know, the first time I called in really was like, man, fuck that. Was golden bullets, God damn it. When he's talking about Bitcoin, when he's like, Rudy, look, if it gets to the point where golden bullets mean anything, then you already got them. And he's like, but until he kind of slapped me in the face with that one, was like, yo, pause. But was like, you know, get into this Bitcoin crypto. But see, man, and I agree with him, man. Wendy O and all, I like that dude. They're grifting. They're rolling with that shit, man. Max Kaiser, all of them. I've never owned a computer. I'm sitting here holding my cell phone up. I'm holding my cell phone up. Like my ex, God bless her soul, would always be like, because I watch bass fishing on YouTube, and I'm like, dude, I'm better than these guys. I'm funnier than these guys. She bought me.
Hell yeah.
She bought me a GoPro with a vest and all of that, and like, I'm so technologically dumb. I'm a street kid, man. I'm a street kid. Wanted to be military / turned into a street kid. I never fucked with computers my whole life, man. A PlayStation. I mean, you're sitting there with a nice little setup, a microphone, a ukulele, you know, a good camera. I'm sitting here like, look at my shit, y'all. Look at my shit. Look at my shit. And she used to be, you know, she was like, get a laptop. Come on, you could do this, da 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 da. But I'm just a stubborn ass, man.
But you are badass at catching fish. Look at that right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Boom.
That is a man who knows how to catch a fish. Look at that big mofo.
Right there was 9 and some change, man. I caught a bigger one, dude.
You caught a bigger one?
Yeah, there's another one with a blue sweatshirt because I caught the motherfucker standing on shore, which blew my mind. You know what I'm saying? I was just dicking around up by the shoreline. I saw a little bit of school of shad popping up, and I was throwing this crankbait through a school of shad. It was getting slapped around. Next thing you know, that went the other way. I was like, holy shit. I hooked him. I got a blue sweatshirt on. It should be on Twitter.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Wait, and I put it in there. It was like 10, 2, blah, blah, blah. Somebody was like, yo, that fish ain't 10 pounds. I'm like, God damn, the internet, man. Y'all are boom.
That's
boom.
it. 10-pound largemouth. Yeah.
Somebody said,
look at that beautiful fish.
Yeah, dude. Like, that's one thing about where I live, bro. There's some of the best bass fishing in America in these rivers, man.
Hell yeah. I love that picture. And I love seeing you happy, doing things you're good at that you love to do, because you deserve that, man. You do a lot for people. I'm here to, I will attest to it, man. You hold everybody down, and you're that dude that, like, you make everybody feel safe, right? Like, meaning, as somebody who was in charge of keeping everybody together and safe and making sure that the nation had no negative press, you know what I mean? And you got to worry, especially if it's your first time doing a party like that, and you got 20 people all drinking and smoking. You never know. Somebody could be crazy. You just don't know.
I'm going to tell you my thinking, man, because, if any of the Hoteps listen to this, man, I don't want them thinking that I carried the blig up for any of them. But, and Jerry, HJ's got a name for himself. Fucking Dojo Comedy's got a name for himself. And that fucking Tim Pool had tried to have something out there in Jersey one time, and a bunch of fucking protesters showed up.
Yeah, well, and remember the weekend before, Chrissy Marr got pepper sprayed there.
Yeah, so
the weekend before, pregnant,
pepper sprayed. Protesting the vet, goddammit. I'm too old for this shit.
I was worried when we rolled in, and HJ was like, dude, relax, we're good. And I was like, cool. And then I saw all of you there, and I was like, man, if they have to get through Reef, Rudy, Psych, Reeves brother, protocol. If they have to get through all these dudes, I'm good. I can just do the management part because ain't nobody getting through this wall. You know what I mean? That's a line, son.
The Blicket was with me. I told Cannon because I fucking love Cannon, man. I told him he's the only one I told that. I was like, yo, you bring yours? He's like, man, oh, Jersey Law, man. I'm like, fuck that Cannon. I bought mine. It's we're good. He was laughing his ass off, dude. Mine's we're good.
That was awesome. Well, man, I'm gonna call it now. I want you to come back because there's some stuff I want to get into. Like, what's cool is we did get the overview, but man, there's stuff I want to get into. You know what I mean? I really want to get into your time, what that meant for you, what you learned from that. I think there's so much that people can learn from people who spent time inside because you understand the system and the government and the way things work on a level that people who don't, that have never done time will just never understand unless they listen to a guy like you.
Well, listen, Mike, you're building something special here. You got my number. Anytime you want to bring the vet on,
hell yeah.
Let me know. Let me know on a Sunday. I'll be ready. I'll be ready by the night, man.
Hell yeah. I legit didn't ask anybody else to come on because I wanted to ask you these questions and not be interrupted. I wanted to get good info because you're so easy to talk to. We can talk about the Raiders. We can talk about music for hours, but it's important people know your backstory because it's an important one, man. And who you are and how strong you are and how you don't gives no fucks, but also at the same time, you're a good dude. People need to learn that doesn't just happen, brother. It comes from, making mistakes, learning, growing. It comes from a lot of places. So I want people to know you better, Roots. That's all. You know what I'm saying? DJ Rudy the Vet. Pew, 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 pew.
One day if we ever come, next time you have me on, man, I'll give you the story to the name, dude, where the name came from.
I'm with it.
Rudy the Vet.
Y'all gotta stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. I'll give you the story of that, man. Because full disclaimer, I love the military. I wanted to go to the military, but I wasn't in the military. But there's a story, and HJ asked me one day, he's like, somebody, you were in the military. I was like, no, I'm not on a call in, right? I was like, no, I wasn't. I was never in the military. I respect it. I'm from a military family, military background. He's like, what about Rudy the Vet? What are you a veteran of? And I screamed, I'm a veteran of the drug war, man, the war on drugs. And he was like, oh, shit, hold up, man.
It's a different game out here.
It was a different game, but it still is a war. Like I told you, it was either going to the military. I grew up idolizing military and mafiosa. And I played some sports. Maybe I should have grew up and idolized MJ, although he was a great basketball player. But I'm Heartbreak Ridge or Casino. You know what I'm saying? Platoon or Scarface. These were the movies on in my house. You know what I'm saying? Full Metal Jacket. I used to lay. All right. I got some stories next.
All right. So we're going to do Rudy part 2. Maybe not not next week, but the week after, because we're booked up next week. We're booking that.
You gotta let me know on Sunday, bro, because if we ain't doing this, I'm going fishing.
Yeah, I don't blame you, and I will. All right, and I got to read this. So for next week, my next week's guest asked me to read this. We're gonna have Bob Jones return next week, and he wants you to know he was going to join us tonight, but he's recovering from a non-consensual encounter with a man-eating clam. This is the pirate Black Sand Bob. He's recuperating. I knew him in Hawaii. He's in Wahiawa right now at the Maritime Clinic and Avian Sanctuary. He looks forward to being here on the 14th with his next week, and he will regale us with the particulars of his tropical adventure. All right. So, I have all kinds on this show. That's the fun of this show. That's the point of it. So, but he's a cool actor, comedian. He's been in a few things. He actually was a Disney pirate, so that's where he got his thing. And so, yeah. Anyway, all right, Rudy, you are the best, man. Thank you so much, Hotep and Build, my brother. And I will talk to you. I'll see you in the chat tomorrow because I talked to you.
Hotep, brother.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Stay tuned for Rudy Part 2. We'll see you Sunday. Oh, how do they follow you? What's your Twitter handle if you want folks to follow you?
It's Thomas LaRusso, man, because I ain't fucking hiding my real name. Fuck y'all. That's me, Rudy the Vet. Right. Rudy the Vet 81 on Twitter, man.
Rudy the Vet 81 on Twitter, y'all. And let me see if I can pull it up and put the link in there.
And see who's following him, and you'll find the vet, man. Follow
yeah.
Mike. Mike, hey, you're doing a good job, dude. Keep up the good work, man. I appreciate you giving me a voice, man.
Man, you got to have it, dude. You're an important part of the whole team. So, guys, thank you so much. We will see you next week. Oh, and Sunday night with Protocol.
Yes.
All right.
You know, out.
And then tomorrow Hotep live stream at 1 p.m.
Griff
Yes.
Report, 2 o'clock.
Report.
Griff
Yes.
Report, 2 o'clock.
And
Lauren,
we're there in the chat.
Lauren, I love you, Lauren.
Lauren is fire. We love you, Lauren.
I love you,
the whole
Lauren.
team.
Come on, Lauren.
We
Let's
better not call anyone out because then everybody gonna get upset. We didn't call them all out. So we love all of you. All of you.
I got a special kind of love for Lauren, Mike. I'm talking about a special kind of love for Lauren.
I'm gonna let y'all work that out. God bless both of you. Guys, thank you so much. Good night.
Have a good one.